Hello there, and welcome back to another installment of SCP Readings with your reader here, Gmo Dawn. Today we're looking at SCP-899. There is a link down in the description for you to follow along as I read out loud. SCP-899 is a psychic and telekinetic phenomenon that most commonly manifests as a group of hostile phantom children. Travelers in the area have reported being pursued and harassed by small shadowy figures that curse and throw rocks in an attempt to drive them out of the immediate area. The figures tend to be featureless, and it is usually difficult to determine if they possess any gender or even individual voices and behaviors. Failure to leave the area will result in an increase of aggressive behavior, culminating in a direct physical attack by the entities. An adult who comes into physical contact with one of the entities will suffer the loss of all detailed memories prior to the onset of puberty. General knowledge of family members and living conditions will remain, but persons who have been affected by this memory loss often display a significant change in personality. The most common symptoms are a loss of impulsiveness and curiosity, and negative responses to attempts at humor. Affected persons also tend to become highly impatient with children, regardless of their prior behavior. Pre-adolescent children who come into contact with the entities will physically disappear, after which some or all of the entities may take on part of the lost child's appearance. No attempt to communicate or find the whereabouts of a child lost in this way has yet been successful. Adolescents who have not fully matured past puberty are data expunged. Although more detailed manifestations have been encountered within the area, no attempts to communicate with the entities within SCP-899 have resulted in anything but attacks on Foundation personnel. Items made of iron, or redacted, are useful in warding off direct contact with the entities. However, as confrontation of the phenomenon is not required to contain it, no tools containing blank have been allocated to SCP-899. Travel through the area is also hindered by a spatial anomaly that makes land navigation difficult. Compasses and GPS navigation systems will give false directions, and trails through the underbrush will change course. Although there are occasional sounds of wildlife within the affected area, no wild animals or tracks have been observed within the range of SCP-899's effect. Animals brought into the site are also subject to attacks by the entities, although they will not attempt to make physical contact. Experiment 899-1 conducted March 23rd to May 15, 2009. SCP-573 was transferred to SCP-899 to test its effects on the childlike manifestations. SCP-573 is successful in driving away the manifestations, although the spatial anomaly that complicates land travel within the area remained. Due to the harmful effects of prolonged exposure, SCP-573 was returned to containment at the conclusion of the experiment. Incident Report 899-25 June 10, 2009. A new manifestation has been encountered in SCP-899. The entity took the appearance of an adolescent male covered with bloody wounds. Rather than the normal interaction, it immediately attacked Dr. Blank, resulting in severe lacerations and distinct bite marks on the arm, neck, and upper thigh. Dr. Blank is undergoing treatment and quarantine. Incident Report 899-26 June 13, 2009. Dr. Blank is released from quarantine with no permanent damage beyond scarring. Dr. Blank passed a psychiatric examination with expected results and has been able to give detailed recollections from his youth despite physical contact with SCP-899. The new manifestation has been classified SCP-899-1. Incident Report 899-27 June 20th, 2009. SCP-899-1 manifestations have been increasing in number and have been observed in direct conflict with other manifestations of SCP-899. SCP-899-1 has also attacked the cabin on the northern border and started a fire which resulted in the death of Agent Blank. Although SCP-899-1 can be deterred in the same manner as SCP-899, the new manifestations display a significant increase in aggression with intent to kill. Research suggests that the change in SCP-899's phenomena is related to exposure to SCP-573. No further cross-SCP experimentation with SCP-899 is allowed at this time per O5 order. I'm share a little bit of a story with you guys. This SCP reminds me a lot of this area where I live. I live in Oklahoma in the US, And there is this area about maybe an hour away from where I live. It's this place called Gravity Hill. A very, very interesting place. I've been there a few times myself. It's very creepy. It's kind of like this SCP. It's in a wooded area with a back road, very old back road that not many people drive on much. And the story has it that there were kids on a bus, elementary kids. I think they were on their way home, and the bus got stopped on these tracks. There's these train tracks there, and apparently a train came, hit the bus, killed all the kids within. And that area is supposedly haunted. And it's kind of true because, like I said, I went there a couple times. There's a very, very large hill. If you go down to the bottom of the hill, there's this curve in the road, and if you put your car in neutral on the side of the road, they say the ghosts of the children start pushing you out. And since I've been there a couple times, yes, it really does happen that once you're in neutral, they push you out up the hill until you're over the tracks and you're over this bridge. And once you're over the bridge, your car stops moving. It is a very, very freaky phenomenon, and this SCP reminds me of that a lot because it's a bunch of phantom children. And it reminds me of that so much because it's where they don't want you to be there. That's kind of the story how it is with out here at Gravity Hill. This SCP, they don't want you to be there for whatever reason. And there's an anomaly there that will lead you away, basically. And although this is a little more hostile, I guess, and it has a little more supernatural effects than what Gravity Hill does here, but it reminded me of that a lot. But this SCP, I think this SCP is pretty creepy. Children being phantoms and being, hostile. That's pretty downright creepy to me. It also reminds me a bit of a Blair Witch Project. How the witch kept leading them in circles or whatever and changing the trails and the whole entire layout was changed. And anyway, not a place I would want to find myself at. Now I have a question for you guys. It says adolescents who have not fully matured past puberty are blank. That means people who are around the ages of 12 to 16, somewhere around that age. What do you guys think happens to them? Do they die? Do they get sucked in? Do they get horribly mutilated? What do you guys think? So that has been SCP-899. Thank you for joining me on this reading. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.